Hey YouTubers, and welcome back to another episode here on ESGNet, and this is the Dallas Cowboys franchise here. This is episode 52, and this is off-season part 1 as we are getting ready to go into the third season of the Dallas Cowboys franchise. Now, if you don't know already, we're a bit behind, quite a bit. Actually, about a month behind of this wrapping up this series here, but we are going to wrap up the series with this for one of two parts here for the off season. The second part of this off season will be up here within a day or two, and that'll be the talking about the upcoming draft. So this is everything that we've done to set it up for the Dallas Cowboys franchise if we were going to go on to season number 3 of this franchise. Now, I've already uploaded the first season and the first couple of games of the for Madden 19. I'll have a video about that coming up here on the channel here over the next couple of days, and you guys can check that out here on the channel. So that'll be up on here, and we'll let you guys know what that's all about. Now we're taking a look here at some free re-signees. And we're looking at James Hanna here, a tight end there. He's a 7-year man from Oklahoma. He's 30 years of age, 260, and he 6'4" there. He's he's our number 3 tight end. And well, I found out now that Jason Witten is not going to retire. He's actually going to stick around for another season. So now that is coming to the issue here is which tight end do we sign? Because really truly we like to have both, but with our finances that we have this year, to take a look at our cap space, we don't have much cap here to really do too much of anything to re-sign too many guys here. Now we already said we was going to not re-sign. I believe it's going to be Beasley, Cole Beasley. We're not going to re-sign him. We're going to let him go test out the free agency pool. And also too, Zach Martin is another guy that we're not going to re-sign, and Damian Wilson. I didn't realize how much he was going to be worth, but take a look here at James Hanna. There you see his fair offer there. You see 5.9 mil for 2 years. We're going to kind of give him a little bit more here, try to see if we can just seduce him here just a little bit to stick around here. Now if he does stick around, there is a good chance that he'll be the number 3 guy, because we also want swim. We want to have both guys. You know, they did so well as a collective there, those 3. I think that it might be a little tough. It'll be a little tough to have all 3 there when they're all doing so well. And talking to Hannah there, we talked to him about it, and he said, you know, he was still up in, at this point here, he wasn't for sure if he was gonna what his future was gonna be like. We did offer a $1 million signing bonus there. Take a look at this, his balance tight in there, and honestly, personally, I like him, but we offered him to him. He says no, he's going to test out free agency there. So if he does go, which in this case he is going to free agency, we could have him come back next season at a cheaper rate. Chaz Green. Now I talked to him about him in the previous episode here on the channel, which was the Cowboys Insider. And we talked about possibly re-signing him only for the simple fact for some depth, because we need some help here in the guard position. As like I mentioned, Zach Martin, the right guard there, he is. We're not going to re-sign him, so we need some help in the guard position there to help us out with depth-wise, especially as we're looking to the draft here. We don't know exactly where some of these potential draftees will land at. And we're looking at the guard position. We're looking to find, it doesn't matter regardless of the right or left, whatever we play, we're going to have to stick that guy in that area, in the right hand side that we're missing now, because we're not going to re-sign Zach Martin. So Green, we could potentially move Green over. I believe his overall doesn't change really anything if we switch him from left to right. So I think for the time being, we're going to try to switch him over to the right hand side there, and just have him play that until we can find out who we have on our draft board. and go from there. And then whoever we have on our draft board, we'll see if we can get a left or right, depending on where we fall out here. Because with the draft, we could get a good offer for somebody, or for a draft pick or something like that, and we can go up the draft or we can go down. We do have two third round draft picks that we do have. One of them, I believe, was from Indianapolis from last season, so I believe that is the number 8 pick. So and by the looks of it, there is a pretty good supplement of guards there in that round that we can possibly go over to draft. So that right there, I think if everything goes the way we would like it to go, there are some of the scenarios we go, we could get a really good, a great pick there, somewhere hopefully around, not as close to Zach Martin. We're hoping we can get somebody somewhere around the mid 70s, maybe mid to upper 70s there, and overall in that position there in the third round. But we'll have to see, and we'll have to check that out when we get to the draft there. But there you see Chas Green, you see his numbers there, and of course he did re-sign with us, so we're glad to see him come back. You see 6'5", 300 pounds there for the Dallas Cowboys. He will return next season. Now, so now we know that we don't have a third tight end. And there you see Swim, who is 76 overall. I thought they were pretty close, similar in the overalls there, but apparently not, because I don't know if you guys seen it, but Hannah was a 71 or 70 overall when it comes to the tight end position. So we decided to go really hit, since Swim is not coming back, or since Hannah's not coming back, we're going to Swim, and then in the draft we can go for a tight end somewhere, maybe a late third round tight end in the third round, because we do have that third round, our normal third round pick. And of course, like I said, the scenario could change, because a couple of guards could slip down some, or a tight end could slip down some. So I feel like the third round is a good spot for us, where we can get a really decent tight end. If there's a tight end up there that's really got some pretty good numbers there, some pretty good numbers to close to Swim in his catching and his run blocking and building, stuff like that. That would really help us out there. But as just the need that we have right now, I should say, I should put that first and foremost. The need that we do have is a guard. That we do need a guard there, because we do need to, if anything, grow that, have some more depth in that position there. So that is something that we will have to go after. But if a tight end comes on board there, we may have to just put that on the back burner and go after a tight end if we can. But necessarily, we can go free agency too. That's another other option that we can do for really for both positions that we need for next season. So we'll keep our eyes peeled to the free agency market there, see who's aboard there. I took a look. There's a few names there that I think I would be comfortable with for re-signing. We'll get to that here in just a bit. Take a look there. You see Swim. Yep, he went ahead and re-signed with us. So nice. He said that he's going to be a part of our family once again. Take a look at the left end position here as you take a look. And that is Benson, who he's pretty active this season, especially during the second half there. Got involved in some key key tackles and scenarios there for us on the defensive side of the ball there. And I really feel comfortable. He's a 78 overall. He's a normal development there. So he's kind of one of those middle-of-the-road guys for some depth that we can use there on the left end there. And I think we're going to go ahead and re-sign him. I feel really comfortable of getting him re-signed and getting him in there for the depth part there, because we really need some guys there. There's some areas in our defense that we need some depth really bad, and this is one of them. I would say also too, probably the linebacker position, which I think I mentioned before in the Cowboys Insider. That's another position that we really need to work on when it comes to the depth part of the game, and for our guys there on the team. So that is something that we're going to just have to really focusing on it and just try to build up over the course of this off season here. Is just to see what we can have to help us out and what's that can benefit us there. So, like I said, we got linebackers. Really, our secondary is a real issue. I do want to look at some free safeties there. So far, with the, and of course, my apologies again. I didn't show you guys the draft board this year. I promise you we'll show more of the draft boards in the next series in Madden 19 with these Chargers there. But this one we just lost track of time and just time got away from us from dealing with in real life. I have a full-time job, so I really couldn't get to this series as often as I wanted to and whatnot. But there you see he gets a resign. So let's go ahead and take a look, guys. We're not going to resign. Like I said, Cole Beasley, one of them. You see 81 overall. A great development. I mean, one of those good players. You're a third. He could be a second. Slot receiver, but it dropsies. He has a dropsies, and I just did not care for that this year. Last year we gave him a second. We gave him an opportunity to I decided to stick with him because I was really going to put him on the trading block and just say, hey, whoever wants him, give me a good deal for it, give me something on defensive, take his him as an offensive player and try to look for something defensively. But he had the dropsies there first part of the season, and then I was looking around just trying to trade him, but we just could not find a decent enough or fair enough trade, at least for us, and so we kept him. But towards the end of the season there, in the regular season, he really did a good job of stepping up, and of course he had a great game there for the Super Bowl there. So but there you see Hannah, Beasley, Wilson, Damian Wilson, one of our middle or outside linebackers for the left-hand side there. Byron Jones, I could not re-sign him either. He was just too rich for my blood, and so we decided not to re-sign him or Zach Martin either. As I already mentioned already, that he's just getting too expensive there, and so we started looking at just the makeup of the team when it comes to corners. You see Brown there, who's 92 overall. He had a really great year there for us. He had some really great catches. He was able to take back a couple of interceptions for pick sixes. Nolan is getting up there. He's becoming a good name. Lewis is another guy there that he stepped up here in the last couple of games here, and it's been very impressive and doing what he can do. But we decided in this situation, we don't have a good enough full or free safety, since we are losing Byron Jones. So I decided to go ahead and put Brown there, and there you see a 91 overall if we moved him from the corner position to the free safety position. I believe he was a 93 overall with the corner position. So we're gonna get some help here in the free safety here. He dropped down. I know he's here. He's +3 again. So he's getting some help. We're getting some more extra help here. I want to give I did that because I really want to give the corners some opportunities here. Some of the younger corners get in there, and we're going to kind of manipulate the playbook there and get them involved in some packages there for next season, or I should say, if we were going to the next, into the next season there, that was the plan there. Take a look at some of the retirements here. Just kind of scrolling through these. You guys can pause the video, check those out. But yeah, I mean, for the most part here, I did do some moving around here. I think I made another change in something. I can't remember off the top of my head what it was. I can't even think of it now. But we did make a slight alteration. Well, never mind. I take that back. It's in the next video. I'm getting ahead of myself here. Never mind. Forget about that. What I just said. Take a look at retirees. You got Nick Mangold is going to retire. You got Brandon Marshall, and oh look, Eli Manning. So the Giants going to be very different next season, especially with Nick Mangold and Eli Manning. I mean, those two have been the cornerstones of that Giants offense for years, and both of them are going to be sadly missed. Brandon Marshall, of course, he's been around the NFL for a while, and he's going to be missed. So the Giants, I mean, they lost 3 good offensive players there. That is going to be very interesting how they're going to bounce back from that. Take a look here. More teams. Not many retirements. See Thomas Davis Sr. He retires after 14 years in the NFL as a right outside linebacker there for the Panthers. David Harris retires after 12 years there for the Patriots. We'll see if they got any more. Raiders don't have any Rams. Andrew Whitworth retires after 13 seasons. I'll see anybody else. Retirements. Oh, Terrell Suggs, 16 years, and he's played all 16 with those Ravens there. That defense is going to be sadly missed there. They're going to that's going to be a big part of their defense. I mean, Ray Lewis left, and now he's gone here now a couple years afterwards. That's going to be really tough for them. Vernon Davis for the Redskins retires. Kyle Williams retires as defensive tackle, and Dan Carpenter retires 11 years as a kicker for the Redskins there. So some big names there leaving. Anybody else? Steelers? Nope. Steelers don't have anybody. Texans, they have Dwayne Brown, 11 years in the NFL as a left tackle. So Texans lose a good player there. And then Vikings, nope. They don't make any changes. So take a look here. Now, I'm not going to get into this too much here. But let's look at the re-signings here. You guys can pause the video, check that out. But for the most part here, the re-signings are, there's just basically some re-signings from each team throughout the whole season there that we don't really too often. I really don't get to too often because, I mean, there's so much going on. You guys, some of you guys would love to see that kind of stuff. And maybe in the Charger series, I'll have that. I'll give you guys just like a quick blitz video of who did what, who's re-signed who throughout the season there. I don't know if you guys got any ideas for something like a special, like a quick, like 5-minute, 10-minute video. I can do something like that. Let me know down below. Let me know what you guys think. You guys would like to see for that new series coming up here. There are gonna be some slight changes to the format of the series coming up. But yeah, just take a look here at some of the guys that are re-signed. Jameis Winston, of course, so he signed that big contract there with him. And of course, in real life right now, he is not playing too good for the Bucks there. Take a look at some of the re-signs here, and you got some David Johnson. He's re-signed with them back in week 3. I know a lot of people are asking, well, hey, why you didn't sign this guy during this? And really, I try to re-sign guys with a simple fact because I want to know what their overall is towards the end. Because if their overall is dropped, especially over the course of the season, then why am I re-signing a guy that's gonna, one's gonna retire on me? If I know he's gonna retire on me, I'd rather just have him retire on me and not try to re-sign him. And the other is too, if he's a player that's gonna be, he's no point, if he's not retiring or anything. I want to see if he's went up in his overalls, or he's went up in his abilities, or if he's went down. Because if he's went down, there's no point in me re-signing him. Why would I want to keep a guy that's going to go down, compared to a guy that goes up? So, I mean, if there's a guy that I really say, okay, we got to re-sign him, I'll re-sign him. But for the most part, I try not to re-sign too many guys. I don't know if they changed this in Madden, but I know in years past, if you re-sign a guy, and if he didn't get the cash like he wanted or whatever, his morale would go down, or some of his abilities would go down, like his confidence, stuff like that. So I don't want to see that happen. I want guys to see their confidence go up. I want to do re-signs in the off season. And there's a lot of teams that actually do that in real life. They don't, or there's not just teams, but there's also a lot of players that just don't want to deal with the re-signing, negotiating throughout the season because they want to focus in on the game, or want to show, hey, I'm going to prove to you why I'm this why I want this money, and they have that at the bargaining table there. when they do negotiate there towards after at the end of the season, especially if they go to the playoffs or the Super Bowl or something like that. They show that body of work, like, okay, this is what I did, and then if you translate it into dollars, this is how much I'm going to be worth. So I kind of do it that kind of way. I mean, it's somewhat realistic, but I don't know. In years past, it's always been a issue with morale, and then turn around when they end up they re-sign, and they turn around like, oh, I'm retiring. It's like, I just signed you to a 1 year, even a 1 year deal, 1 year deal, and here you are now retired. You're gonna retire on me. It's like, what the heck, And sometimes I get confused if they take if they get that money, keep that money or not. Let me know down below if they do. I couldn't really remember. I wasn't sure if they. I'm pretty sure they don't, but you never know. Sometimes Madden's kind of squirrely like that, and they do silly stuff like that. So, but yeah, just take a look at some of the re-signs here. You got some Greg Olsen, who's re-signed with the Panthers. Take a look there. A couple of Patriots have re-signed. Shaq Mason is re-signed, 5 years, $41.6 million back in week 4. But yeah, like I said, re-signings, I just try to try to re-sign these guys towards the end of the, or like end of the year or the off season. And if I can't re-sign them, that's fine, whatever. I know in years past I've cut guys, I've let guys go, or didn't re-sign them, and then there they are sitting in free agency pool still. It's like, now now I can lowball you now because you tested free agency, it didn't work out, so now I can kind of shortchange you some, and and give you the money I offered you, so it kind of works out in the end. That I can't remember what series it was. I can't remember. I think it was before I did YouTube. I had a player that did that. I can't remember exactly who it was, but I did that, and next thing you know, he was still on the free agency pool. And I was like, you know what? I'm not even worried about re-signing him. I'm just gonna keep going on. And then throughout the rest of the season, I kept looking on there, and I was like, yeah, he's. I told a friend, I'm like, yeah, he's still on there. No one's picked him up, and he had a good rating. I think he was like an 80 something, overall. He was in the prime. He'd been in his prime of his career, in the I think 28, 29, 30 years of age. So he still had a couple more years of playing time on him and everything. And no one signed him. And finally, towards the end of the season, I'm like, okay, we'll go ahead and sign him. And he had to take what was offered. He had that standard 1 year contract there. And then after that, I think we re-signed him for another two more seasons there. And he did really great. His numbers actually his overall kind of slightly went up by, I think, 2 points, and then a couple areas in his games went up. Had some increases there. But yeah, it's funny how I don't know how this Madden, these new Madden, but I think that was when I was in college, so it had to be a couple years ago. I think it was like Madden 8 or 9 when that happened or something like that. So a while back, but that's why I just really try to worry about, if I know there's guys I can re-sign, I usually wait and just see how their season they've progressed in the positive, in the positive sense. If they went up, more upward than they did down. If they've regressed, then like, okay, if they've regressed to me in too many areas of the game, I'm like, there's no point of re-signing them. It's like, okay, whatever. If I know they're going to retire, I know at least in years past, I usually just like, okay, not re-sign them unless, they say they're going to actually retire. If they don't retire, then okay, we'll sign them to a year deal. But since Madden, you don't know exactly when these older guys are going to retire, because, I think on one year YouTube series I've seen, like, what's his name played up to, like, he was like 43, 44. Tom Brady did. I can't remember whose series it was, but he was playing in, another 4 or 5 more years. I think almost up to like he was 46 or 47 years of age. It's like, okay, what the hell, like. But it's weird now how they've added that new thing into the game there, where you don't know, you can convince them to play a little longer and stuff like that. So, but there's some more re-signings for the Vikings there as we kind of getting close here to wrapping this up, and we're gonna be looking at, I believe, free agency. So we're gonna take a look at some of the free agency here in just a bit. As we just wrap up the Vikings there, you see Diggs there, he re-signed with the Vikings there. But there you see some of the releases that a lot of teams had over the course of the season there. Of course, we didn't have any releases there. There you just see some of these guys were released in the off season, and some of them were released during the middle of the season there. As teams were just making cuts there, just trying to make room for cash purposes and just make sure they have cash for this upcoming offseason that we're currently in right now. We didn't do that because there were some guys that we knew that we just money wise it was just not gonna, it wasn't really a big deal with us. But like I said, even if we had a lot of money, because I think last year we didn't make such a big splash in free agency, but again this year we're not going to make a big splash here. We're going to maybe try to find one or two names. I think we're going to look into more of the offensive side of it, because defensively, looking at it here, you'll see here in a bit, there was some decent names, some household names there, but if you look at their overalls and just their numbers, and then most importantly their age, it was not worth what they were asking for. It wasn't worth, some guys like Brian Arakpo and all those others, those really good household names that you would want on your defense, signing them to some, even some short-term contracts. So we didn't want to go that route. We want to keep going younger, and I think that's what we're going to do in the draft. If by chance, if we can find some players that are a little younger on the defensive side of the ball, that's what we're going to try to do. So you take a look here. Yeah, let's go ahead and look at the free agency here. So there you see one of the top free agents right there, Zach Martin. You got the Titans, Chicago, and the Cincinnati. So Titans, Bears, and the Bengals looking at him. Titans the top team right there. Look at Drew Brees there. Looks like the Ravens want him. He's being chased after them, and then of course you see some other names there, and like I said, and then you see Marshall Lynch. When I seen that, I was just salivating. I'm like, oh my god, I can have a real true three-headed. I mean, look, 85 or 83 overall. Was it Bird is 81 overall. I mean, just having those guys there in that backfield there, I was just like, oh, that would just be so awesome. I would just trade. I would try to find a way to get rid of him. But then I started looking. I'm like, okay, realistically, we couldn't do this because we already have enough backs here as we do, and then turn around try and get rid of McFadden would be like, we're just better off just holding him on until next season, and we can, if we can get rid of him and let him go. Another name out there too, Adrian Peterson was another name that was out there. Of course, he's aged some. Of course, he's had some injuries and whatnot. And so that would be a risk, gambling on that. But again, another nice name. So we decided to go wide receiver since we got rid of Cole Beasley. And we're going to go ahead and go after this gentleman right here, former Kansas City Chiefs. You got Chris Connolly. There you see speed 93, run route there. Great, good catch, acceleration there too. He's asking for 3 years, just around, almost close to 13 mil. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to give him a 1.25 signing bonus, and was it? Can't really tell there. About 3 mil, 3.2 mil. That put him around about that 13, almost close to $13.5 million. Contract there for 3 years. So we go ahead and we offer him that contract. Then one of the tight ends I really enjoyed playing with in the Steelers franchise that we had in Madden 17 was this man right here, Jesse James, the outlaw there for the Steelers. No longer with the Steelers now, but the 4-year man from Penn State, 6'7", 261 pounds. He's 25 years of age in this game. He's at that, just that right there where we need him at. He's at 81 overall. He would be the number 2 tight end for us, and could possibly easily be if he's going the same route as he did in that last series there when I was with when I had the Steelers as the team that we had. He would be good number 1. He'd be a good replacement for Jason Witten. So we went and offer him a contract, and so far no one's offered him anything. Same thing with Connolly there. So we offer those. I think those are the 2 that we're going to target and try to re-sign and get it on our team here. And like I said, we're not going to make a huge big splash because really truly there's not too many people that we could go after. And even if we did have quite a bit of money, talking to Jerry Jones and talking to some of the coaches there, they feel pretty solid. They feel like they have a pretty solid team this year. They felt like that they can go into next season with not too many problems there. I mean, with the exception of trying to get some areas and try to get some depth in their defense. Offensively, I mean, we're pretty sound. I mean, pretty good. We're ready to go, and looks pretty solid for a team. So just talking to the coaches there and trying to iron out some areas, because we're gonna be with them in the war room for the draft. Talking to them and picking their heads there for what they would need. It was kind of interesting there. It was a really nice for them, and we want to thank them for letting us go in there and for the draft signings and stuff like that. As you see, we do have one of those signings. It would be Jesse James there. And then at this point I was kind of scratching my head. I'm like, okay, what is the up with Connolly? Well, we find out later on that Connolly is being approached by the Bears and the Cardinals there. So we had to kind of up the stakes some here a little bit with Connolly, and then we went ahead and simmed and seen that Connolly went ahead and accepted our contract there. So we got what we was looking for, free agency. And that really helped us out there. I think Connolly would be a great person. I think he may be even good enough to play in the slot position there for us for next season. So we went in and re-signed him, and he's going to be on board there. So he's going to be our quarterback there, our wide receiver there for us to help out the receiving core there for us. And then just take a quick look here before we wrap up this episode here. Take a look here and see who got signed here. Some of the league signings there. You see the Titans got Zach Martin, so congrats there, Zach Martin. Best future endeavors for him and the Titans organization there. And then we'll take a look here at Byron Jones. He was the next guy there. The Jets now have him, so they're going to have a nice defense there to help them out. And then the 49ers picked up Breeze there to get their quarterback situation there. Johnson signed with the Cardinals, and then Amendola signed with the Jets there. I'm trying to think any other names here. Like I said, there was not too many big names here. Wilson, he signed with the 49ers there, so 49ers got some defensive help there in the linebacker position there. And then just keep going on down here. Cole Beasley with wait a minute now. Flower for the Cardinals, but there you see Beasley signs with the Giants. That is going to be interesting that he is with them. They don't have, of course, Eli Manning. Manning has retired. But, yeah, this is going to be interesting there because they're going to be now looking for a quarterback now. So we'll see who Beasley's going to be thrown to the second season. And then, of course, go on here and just kind of run down the list of the rest of the players there that got signed from different teams. Some of them are making some moves here. Marcus Wheatley from the Steelers. He's now signed with the Giants also. So there's 2 wide receivers now. Theo is now signing with he's with the Saints there. And then take a look at some other players there. Poole signed with the Bears. I don't see any other now. John Kuhn there. He is signed with the Saints once again. So he has I believe a 1-year contract with them. I was actually really thinking about signing him. I don't know why. He's always one of those the players I've went after in signings and did pretty well with in past Maddens, but just didn't have the money this year. And of course, like I said, I just didn't want to buy, or I just didn't want to sign guys that we just, especially in a position that we just really didn't need, because Keith Smith's been doing a great job there for us in the fullback position. And I believe I think he's 1 or 2 points higher than John Kuhn there. So Kuhn, as they like to yell there. Well, they used to yell that in Green Bay. Not going to be with us. He's going to be in the Big Easy. And let's see. We'll finish off here the episode. You see Lynch. He signs with the Jets. Now, the players that did not get signed, you got Anvil, who didn't get signed. Marshall Lynch didn't get signed. Oh my goodness! Wow. TJ Yeldon did not get signed. Jonathan Stewart didn't either. Rakbo didn't get re-signed. And then, of course, Peterson didn't get re-signed either. Forte didn't get re-signed. And, of course, Forte is one of those players that I always find on here, but he is too freaking old to deal with. And then Clay Matthews. If I knew Clay Matthews was on here, I would have made a pitch to him, but he didn't get re-signed either. And then you see Adam Vinatieri. I believe Alex Smith was on that list. Tomby, there you see him. He is gone, or he's still there. So, I mean, there's some pretty good names there. Shipley, AQ Shipley, a good good center there. Just some guys that were just not re-signed there, and so I don't know what the deal was. Maybe not many teams are want to make a push. They want maybe focus on the draft a lot more, try to get younger. So I don't know. So if some of these guys are still on the team and we have quite a bit of money, there could be a good chance that we could sign those guys as some late signs for the next season. And I think I would sign Tamba. Rakbo. Probably, if anything, Clay Matthews. Really, I mean, he's still good. To me, I think he's still a great, decent player, and he would do some be helpful for us there in the linebacking position. But fortunately, we're not going to be able to play the second season, or the third season of this. But we are going to go to the draft, and that'll be coming up here in the next episode. So we'll take a look at the draft. We'll show you guys who we picked up in the draft, who we signed. Remember, we have a regular first and second round. Third round, we have a pick at number 8, and then we have our regular third round pick, and then we have our regular 4th, 5th, 6th, and 7th. And I talking to Jerry Jones, then they said that there's a good chance that they could go ahead and just pick in the first 3 rounds. Of course, the first 3 rounds they have. The third round they have 2 picks, so they would have the first 4. The first I think they're only going to go after 4 people in the draft, and then I think they said that there's a good chance that they could draft or could pick away, depending on what other teams are needing. There's a good chance they could get rid of their 4th, 5th, 6th, and 7th round picks. So we'll see what kind of make deals they can make with other teams. That's just at least the rumor going on, but we'll find out and see if that's going to be true coming up here in the next episode here. So stay tuned for Offseason number 2, episode 53. We'll go on Offseason part 2, and we'll see what's going on with the Cowboys when it comes to their draft picks here coming up. We'll go into the war room with them and find out who the future Cowboy superstars will be for the Dallas Cowboys. That is it for this episode for the Dallas Cowboys franchise, and hopefully you guys will stick around for part 2 of this offseason with the NFL draft coming up. So that's it for me. If you guys enjoyed today's episode, please leave a like. Also, don't forget to subscribe to the channel, and also follow us on social media on Facebook, Twitter, and Discord for latest news and events on what's going on here on the channel and what is going on in the world of sports gaming and in sports in general. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you guys next time.